Welcome to Guns, Gear, and Guns with Gary Gunderson. I am Gary Gunderson. Biden had himself a little gun violence conference in New York last week, which I didn't really pay attention to at the time because who actually pays much attention to him anymore?
See, this doesn't violate anybody's Second Amendment right.
Of course, he did not limit himself to the discussion of gun violence, but meandered into his usual cadre of lies about the Second Amendment and previewed some of his plans to curtail it.
When the amendment was passed, it didn't say anybody can own a gun and any kind of weapon. You couldn't buy a cannon when this amendment was passed. And so no reason why you should be able to buy certain assault weapons. But that's another issue.
Got to stop you there, Mr. President. This is completely untrue. Not only was it untrue then, it's untrue now. You can still purchase Revolutionary War era cannons or reproductions of them today, as they are not regulated by the National Firearms Act. He has said this lie on several occasions already, and has actually been fact-checked by the Washington Post of all places, receiving 4 Pinocchios due to how much of a lie it is. And this is not a nebulous, well, we don't know, it's not clear in the Constitution type question. If the Second Amendment were not clear enough by itself, it is. Article 1, Section 8, Clause 11 of the Constitution also grants Congress the power to grant letters of marque and reprisal, explicitly allowing private individuals to act as legal privateers or pirates, where cannons are pretty darned important. Not only is this included in the Constitution, the U.S. has granted these letters to individuals. He also spoke about ghost guns, where he mentioned,
This spring, the Justice Department will issue a final rule to regulate these so-called ghost guns.
an obvious reference to the previously proposed rule ATF 2021R-05, which received more than 290,000 comments from the public, by the way. As proposed, this rule would start calling an 80% receiver a firearm and regulate it as such. It left it unclear at what percentage of completion a chunk of plastic or metal becomes a firearm, and this rule also had other terrible implications for Second Amendment rights. It seems like he's kind of letting the cat out of the bag here, and spoiling the ATF's reply to those comments that hundreds of thousands of Americans made in opposition to this proposed rule. Spoiler alert, it's not in favor of the Second Amendment. We don't know if it will change from the original proposal, but he somehow seems pretty confident it's going to be put into place, without any input from the legislature, of course. As part of this rule, he also plans to have a national ghost gun enforcement initiative that will bring federal charges to anyone committing a crime with a ghost gun. Presumably this would be after making them illegal by fiat. He continued, miscategorizing firearms and the gun industry, mentioning his desire to peel back liability protection for gun companies.
Repeal the liability shield for gun manufacturers. Imagine had we had a liability, they're the only industry in America that is exempted from being able to be sued by the public. Only one. Imagine had that been the way with cigarette manufacturers.
This is, of course, another stupid notion by the president, as gun manufacturers are not protected if the firearm were to malfunction and injure or kill the owner when it is used properly. It just protects them from being sued by victims of gun violence. Firearms manufacturers should not be sued for someone misusing their product. That's all this protection Biden is trying to erase establishes. Imagine suing a car company because someone ran into you with their car when they were drunk. Not only that, sue the company that made the alcohol the driver had been imbibing as well. Better yet, remember the Boston Marathon bomber who improvised a bomb out of a pressure cooker? Guess what, KitchenAid or whatever? You should get sued too, because it's your fault for selling something that could possibly be used in a crime. Most egregiously, Biden mentioned that no amendment is absolute.
There's no violation of a Second Amendment right. We talk like there's no amendment that's absolute.
This is not the first time he said it, not only in reference to the Second Amendment, but even the First Amendment. The Bill of Rights are enumerated not as something the government grants to the people, but as rights everyone has innately before the creation of government, which cannot be infringed. But Biden is doing his darndest to infringe here, infringe there, cut away bit by bit wherever he can get away with, and he will do everything he can without ever having to pass a law or listen to the comments of law-abiding gun owners. But what do you think? Are ghost guns going away? Is this proposed rule as good as enacted now? He's obviously wrong about other things, so maybe he's wrong about this. Do you want a cannon? Let me know in the comments. I kind of want a cannon now too. Please like and subscribe to the channel for more content. Thanks for watching.